Okay, I hope that everybody was okay with yesterday's lesson on fractions and division. And I also hope that you did my homework pages. That was part of the assignment. I know that I didn't say that on the video, but you did have to do page 587 and 588 as well. So please make sure to submit pages 583 to 588 on Google Classroom for me. Today we're going to be starting on page 589 with greatest common factor. So if everybody could now open to page 589, take out a pencil so we can get working on this. You definitely have learned greatest common factor before. You've also learned it with Mrs. Katera. So this should be a pretty quick and simple lesson. And again, I'm showing you the screen instead of showing you myself because I think that it's easier for maybe you to kind of work along with me on this screen. And at the top of page 589, it says factors shared by two or more numbers are called common factors. The greatest of the common factors of two or more numbers is the GCF, or the greatest common factor of the numbers. So if we look at example number 1, it says Sevierville Middle School arranges their sports trophies in rows in a display case. There's an equal number of trophies in each row. Each row has only one kind of trophy. What is the greatest possible number of trophies in each row? When you see that question, when it says what is the greatest possible number of trophies in each row, okay, that's kind of a giveaway that they're asking you to find the greatest common factor. And then example number 1 is one way to figure out greatest common factor, and then on the next page is a second way to find the greatest common factor. I prefer the second way, but I'm going to teach you example number 1's way just in case. But it might be easier to do example number 2's way. So they gave you these three numbers over here: volleyball 40, football 24, baseball 32. And what they wanted you to do was write the prime factorization to find out what the common factors are. Prime factorization, remember at the beginning of the year we learned those factor trees, and that's just what they're doing right here. So first you have to fill out the factor trees. 4 times what is equal to 40 would be 10. Okay, and then you break up 10 into two numbers that you multiply, 2 times 5, and you put them in order from greatest to least, and so on. So I'm going to show you these factor trees right now. And again, this one, 24, you would do 4 times 6. 4 would be broken into 2 times 2. All of these numbers at the bottom here are prime numbers. So all of these would be prime numbers. 32 is broken up into 4 and 8. Break it all the way down, and you'll notice that you'll have a whole row of 2's down here. Okay. Let me get rid of that. The common factors are 2, 2, and 2. You'll notice that in those three numbers back here, okay, 40, 24, and 32, what is the only number that all three of these have in common? In the bottom row, this one had a 2, this one had a 2, and this one had a 2. So the greatest common factor, what you would need to do then, is you would need to multiply those three common prime factors. You multiply to find the greatest common factor. 2 times 2 times 2, which would be equal to 8. So the greatest number of trophies that can be placed in each row is 8. Now let's look at example number 2, because I like doing it this way better. You may find it easier to do it this way, but if you find it easier to do the other way, you could do that as well. They wanted you to find the greatest common factor of 60 and 54, making an organized list of the factors for each number, and then you circle the common factors. So if you start with 60, remember, factors are numbers that go into 60. You're not doing 60, 120, 180, and so on. Those are called multiples. We're doing factors, which are numbers that divide equally into the number 60. 1 goes into 60, 2 goes into 60, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. These are the only numbers that go in equally. Then you make a second organized list for 54. 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 18, 27, and 54. Then what you need to do is circle the common ones. Which ones are the same? Okay? 1 and 1 you would circle together. 2 and 2 you would circle together. 3 and 3, those are in common. 6 and 6 are common factors. And I think that's pretty much it. So you would list them out just like this. You'll notice that the 1s together are circled, the 2s, the 3s, and the 6s. There's no other number in these two organized lists that are common, that are the same in both rows. You list out the common ones, and then you figure out the greatest of those. The greatest of these four numbers is going to be 6. So your answer would be 6. Let's look at guided practice. They wanted you to find the greatest common factor of each set of numbers. You have to think about what are the factors of 8? What numbers go evenly into 8? You should know that 1, 2, 4, and 8 go into 8. And for number 32, the numbers that go in evenly are 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, and 32. The common factors, okay, you would circle them together. 1 and 1 are the same, 2 and 2 are the same, 4 and 4, 8 and 8, and that's it. So the common factors are 1, 2, 4, and 8. The greatest of these four numbers is obviously going to be 8. Okay, let's do one more example. Number 2, 3, 12, and 18. List the factors for 3, which is pretty easy. It's just 1 and 3. 12 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12. And 18 would be 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, and 18. Then you need to figure out which ones are common in all 3 of these. This one has a 1, this one has a 1, this one has a 1, so circle those. This one has a 3, oops, sorry. This one has a 3, this one has a 3. Those are common. And that's about it. So the only common factors are 1 and 3. The greatest of those two numbers is going to be 3. So your greatest common factor is 3. Okay? Today, you're going to be working on independent practice. Make those lists, circle the common factors, figure out which one is greatest. And you're also going to be doing problem solving on page 592. Okay? Just looking at number 11 on page 592, you need to find the greatest number of photos that could be on each page. So that kind of gives it away. Like I said before, if they use the word greatest, most of the time they're asking you to find the greatest common factor. And it's of the numbers 8, 12, and 16. Sometimes you'll have to find the greatest common factor of 3 numbers, 4 numbers, etc. Okay? And you're also going to be doing the My Homework pages, 593 and 594. It's only 6 questions. It shouldn't take you that long. On page 593, they gave you another example using the prime factorization way, if you would prefer to do that way. If you would prefer to just make the lists and come up with the greatest common factor, that is completely up to you. Hopefully everybody will be at the Zoom meeting today. We can go over this again. If you have any questions, ask me at the Zoom meeting or ask me on the stream or an email or however you want to ask. Okay? Good luck.